The Declaration of Independence is a landmark document in human history. People tend to focus on the beginning of it, but the end is just as powerful. We mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Take one Thomas Nelson Jr., born in Yorktown, Virginia, to a well-placed merchant family and partially educated in England. He became involved in politics at a young age, 23 years old, serving on the House of Burgesses. This legislative body publicly condemned the British closing of the port of Boston. As a result, they were shut down by the colonial governor, Lord Dunmore. Thomas Nelson Jr. spent his own money to support Boston during this time. Just a few years later, he would put his signature on the Declaration of Independence. By the end of the war, Nelson was governor of Virginia and leading the Commonwealth's militia. During this time, Nelson was funding the militia personally. Legend has it that during the siege and eventual surrender of General Cornwallis to Washington's forces, Nelson ordered his own cannons to fire upon his house. It was believed that Cornwallis had commandeered the home as a base of operations. This cannonball is not original, but it is claimed that the damage is. After the war, Nelson was in financial ruin. Those he owed money to were after compensation, and his plantations were all but destroyed from the war. Now poor and sick, he died at the age of 50 in his son's home. For some time, he was buried in an unmarked grave to prevent his corpse from being seized by creditors. His post-death legacy was a far cry from his life upon birth. Thomas Nelson Jr. pledged his life, his fortune, and his sacred honor. A doctor's account of Nelson during his last days. From his unexampled patriotic exertions during the late war, he had exhausted a fortune, and at the time I mentioned saw his property arrested and a prospect of sinking from affluence almost to absolute poverty. My friend, you can easily conceive the poignant distress of a man in this situation with an amiable wife and a dozen children around him. He could not bear it. I attended him in his last illness and saw that the exquisite tortures of the mind were the disease that destroyed his body.